You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rudrance for our Black and White Sports 2. We're going to talk about NFL ratings because there was a drop-off from last year's Thursday night showdown. And look, I think there's a couple of reasons. Number one, the NFL is still woke as hell. And number two, let's be real, Rams-Bills doesn't exactly get the eyes in front of the TVs the way that Tom Brady and the Dallas Cowboys would. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys and Brady opened last year. Brady coming off of another Super Bowl win, and the ratings felt the drop-off. All right, I got to be honest with you. It's kind of pumped the other night to watch the Bills, but the Rams just ain't doing it for me on TV. They're not. Hell, I'm a 49ers fan. A lot of people will say, well, that's it. They're rivals. No. I mean, I'll watch the Seahawks and even the Cardinals, but there's something about the Rams, and I don't know what it is. And I think part of it is the lack of energy from their own fan base. Their own fan base seems to be checked out. And yeah, I'm sure some people will get mad about that. Well, don't worry. We're going to cover that too. And I think that had something to do with the ratings. And just in general, it's not been a great look for the Rams since they moved. Thursday night blowout win by the Bills over the Rams generates audience of 21 million. Now, Florio called this a blowout, but it was 17-10 going into the fourth. So it wasn't a blowout until sometime in the fourth quarter, right? A great matchup draws in viewers. A great game keeps them around. Thursday night's season-opening blowout of the Rams by the Bills generated an average audience of just over 21 million, according to Austin Karp of Sports Business Journal. That's a drop of nearly 20% from last year's viewership for the kickoff between the Cowboys and the Bucs at 26 million. Now, this is where it really gets crappy for the TV ratings. The Texans and Chiefs generated 21.6 in 2020. That awful, odd, weird pandemic year in 2020 generated more viewers than this game did. Packers at Bears drew 22.7. Last night's number is the lowest since 2018 when the Falcons and Eagles played, before an audience of 19.6 mil. The Cowboys and Bucks will start the season again in primetime. They'll play tomorrow night. So it'll be interesting to see, can they draw 26 mil tomorrow night like they did last year? The NFL ratings is going to be something we're going to keep one eye on. Okay, because part of me feels like the ratings could drop off this year. Now let's get to this. And we're going to talk about something. Kelly Stafford kind of shaded the Rams last year. I don't know if anybody remembers this. She came out and threw shade at the Rams fans and she literally said, I've got Matthew Stafford, my husband, out there having to use a silent count in his home stadium, and we didn't even have to do that in Detroit. And that's like, holy crap. You know, I mean, for her to come out and say that about the Lions versus the Rams, it's not a good look. Matthew Stafford reveals Rams were prepared for silent count after Bills fans dominated the crowd at SoFi Stadium. It was ridiculous. It was like a Bills home game. I mean, they literally had to go to a silent count, and it was definitely a pro-Bills crowd. And you're finding out, I think the Rams are finding out, and I'm sure the Chargers too, that is a transient crowd out there in L.A., and really and truly, the pro team in L.A., in that area, is USC. It's the Trojans, without a doubt. And now that Lincoln Riley is there, I mean, come on. This Rams team is nothing but talent, and they still can't draw a pro-Rams crowd versus the other crowd. I mean, if they're playing any team with any kind of a real following, I mean, they played the Niners last year. It was almost like a Niners home game. It was crazy. The Rams are coming off a Super Bowl championship and raised a championship banner in their own stadium to start the season. Yet there were plenty of Buffalo Bills fans in attendance in NFL kickoff game at SoFi Stadium. Bills fans are notorious for traveling well, something that the Rams expected headed into the game. The crowd noise screamed pro-Bills throughout the evening as Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford revealed that the Rams had to use, quote, Plan B to control the crowd noise. Quote, we prepared for it. Stafford said after the game, we were prepared to be on the silent count at home again, but it wasn't something that we haven't done before. This wasn't the first occasion that the Rams had to control the crowd noise in their home stadium. Deebo Samuel called out the Rams home crowd when the 49ers needed a win in SoFi Stadium to clinch the playoff berth. My Niners won that game. Quote, I feel like the Rams pumped noise because there really wasn't that many Rams fans in here. The Rams were able to win a Super Bowl in their home stadium, but seemed to have an issue getting SoFi Stadium at maximum capacity with their own fans. Fortunately, the franchise is used to these occasions and has had a handle on them as evidenced by their 8-4 record. So, yeah, like I said, Kelly Stafford has shaded the Rams and that stadium over the same thing. And she said, Matthew Stafford, my husband, had to use the silent count, and last year Jimmy Garoppolo didn't in the home stadium. And that was sort of the fear when the Rams and the Chargers moved to L.A. because notoriously L.A. has not been a great NFL city. And the reason you might be like, well, why the hell did the Rams move out of St. Louis? Why did the Chargers move up? Nobody exactly knows why they left San Diego. I mean, it was a Spanos deal, and I get all that. But I'm going to tell you, I know some Chargers fans. They weren't always drawing well. They weren't. But, boy, they got a passionate fan base that was down there. Absolutely. Part of it is you're competing against great weather. People don't want to be inside. They don't want to be watching TV. But the other thing is Jerry Jones influenced that Rams move because Jerry went to Roger Goodell and said, we got to have an LA NFL team because it's one of the biggest markets in the country. Okay? So I guess maybe from a television perspective, even though this didn't really reflect it, that's why they wanted that team out there. Okay? But there's already talk of St. Louis getting another NFL team. There's rumblings out there that maybe the Jaguars might eventually move to St. Louis. The fact is, St. Louis drawed great when the team was great. Okay? In all honesty, if the Rams in this team right now was out there in St. Louis, they would sell out. They would absolutely sell out, and it would be a hell of a home field advantage, make no mistake. So that's pretty crazy the way this all worked out. I'm interested to watch the NFL ratings this year. I think that's a thing. That we have watched it before. In 2020, we did a lot of ratings videos with the NFL because the NFL ratings dropped when they got into all that wokeness and social justice and all that. The ratings dropped without a doubt. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. The Rams, don't know what to tell you about that, about the crowd noise. And Stafford still doesn't sound too confident about his arm situation. That's interesting. I don't know. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.